welcome back to DivaDollFlawless. In today's video, I'm going to give you an overview or a kind of tutorial and talk through as to how I get my digital stamps into Cricut Design Space and am able to have it fussy cut for me so that I can color it in. I have two Cricut makers and I am still a newbie. For those of you who might think this is a very advanced technique, it's not. I'm still a newbie technically with my Cricut makers. I just watch tutorials, try to take that information, and it's all really trial and error, excuse me. The best way to learn how to use these machines is really to just jump right in. It was the same thing for me with my sewing machine. I just jumped right in, hope for the best, and tried to figure it out. All right. So here's one of the images that I watercolored. I will link the Etsy shop that I've been getting some of my digital images from. They're called Digi stamps if you look on Etsy. And the seller's name is Fairy Ink, and that's Faeryink. And I found her, I loved her images, and I purchased multiple ones, and they've been working for me just fine. So the most important thing in order to be able to do that is to have a precision pen. This is by American Crafts, and I use size number 3. This pen is vital for me because this is the only pen out of all of the pens I have purchased and tried for this technique. This is the only one that fits in my Cricut maker. And this is what the tip of it actually looks like. Okay. And that fits down into the Cricut maker. It's not too short and it's not too wide. So my Cricut maker can draw with this. You'll see a clip in the video showing that. Besides this, obviously you need your digital stamped images. Now you need two. You're going to need a JPEG and you're also going to need the SVG. If you purchase digital stamps, always check the listing to make sure that those files are included, because that's what I use. So what you're going to need to do is in Design Space, upload the JPEG as well as the SVG, and you're going to have two layers. The first layer is going to be the cut layer, that's going to be the JPEG, and then the second layer you're going to have to switch it over to draw, and that's going to be the SVG. Once you do that, you take both of those images, center, you want to align and center, and then you want to group them. I use the size 2.5. I find that's the perfect size to watercolor and to also apply them to cards. All right. Once you do that, you want to group and then attach. And then it's time to make it. So you're going to follow the prompts, choose whichever Cricut machine you're using, and then choose the material, which is the watercolor paper. And then your machine is going to go ahead and draw and then cut. Now, as far as the tips go, you are going to need to cut this twice. I found if you're using the same watercolor paper that I'm using. I use the Canson watercolor paper, and I find that I have to cut this twice. So before I unload the mat, all I simply do is just unload. I press the unload button, and then I take the pen out of the actual machine, and then I just press the button. I don't take the mat off of the machine. The only thing I remove is the pen, and then I press the button again. It's going to load the mat in there and redo the whole process, but at least you know that it's going to cut back on top of the same lines and nothing's going to be misaligned. All right, so after you've done all of that, and this is something you can do while you're washing dishes, cleaning up, and so on and so forth. Once everything's done cutting, you take it off, and then you're going to go ahead and get your little image. And this is the image that I have. This is one of those images that you saw on the screen, and I colored her in. I did use my Tim Holtz Distress Mini Inks, and what I like to do is just on, like, we're going to pretend like this is a stamping acrylic block. I just take the Distress ink, I press it onto the acrylic block, and then I use my watercolor pen to color the image in. So I use my acrylic stamping block as like my paint surface. Okay, and I'm going to show you the colors that I actually used if you didn't read them already. I used Candied Apple, And Candied Apple is the ruffles and the letters. I used Worn lipstick, and Worn lipstick is for her lips. I used Black Soot, Hickory Smoke, this is upside down, Vintage Photo, Picked Raspberry, Shaded Lilac, and also Wilted Violet. So that's everything that I use for this tutorial. If you have any questions or comments, please post them below. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. As always, and until next time, have a gorgeous day, dolls. Smooches. Mwah. Bye.